and the general shouted, "Attack! Attack them with fire!" Yes, welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus. Today we're talking about attacking with fire. More specifically, how the communism woke zombies are attacking this country with fire right this very moment. Welcome back to the show, ladies, gents and Pikachus. So we're going to look into The Art of War by Sun Tzu a little more in continuation of the last two videos that I did. So I'm going to read you a little passage from the middle of the book now, which is relevant to what's happening to our political system. This is the root of the corruption, and I'm going to describe to you how they've managed to do it so well. 1. Sun Tzu said, there are 5 ways of attacking with fire. The first is to burn your soldiers in the camp. The second is to burn their stores. The third is to burn their baggage trains and their possessions. The fourth is to burn their ammunition and their arsenals. And the fifth is to hurl dropping fire. Now, first is to burn the soldiers in the camp. How do you think that works in terms of socially? So if we were going to translate this book into social justice and be the art of social justice war, you know, the art of the social justice warrior, if we were going to burn the soldiers in their camp, what do you think that might mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means we burn them in their homes when they're sat using social media. And the burn means we make them feel bad for what they are, whatever it is they're doing, whatever it is they are. So we call them sexist, we call them racist, we call them homophobes, we call them Islamophobes, we call them transphobes. We call them names in order to make their hearts feel guilty and lower their morale, their resistance to our attack. So we don't actually even need to go and attack them. They will feel like attacking themselves and they will change. So we will make them into spies. We will convert them into a spy so they don't realise, but they're actually now in agreement with our goals. They're working for us without even realising it. Second is to burn their stores. What do you think that means in relation to social justice? Well, the stores is the things like the corporation branding, the TV shows, the artwork and the music and the politics, the written word of us. They attack that and they burn it. You can even see that happening in the news. I mean, they even go as far as literally burning, music and books. Like I said before, I bought my niece and nephew things for their Christmas and birthday presents, just toys, games, books, things that are, that they are from the values of this country that I think are good, that will lead them to becoming good people and have fun while they do it. They burn these things. They tell the kids, no, they're evil. They can't have this music. They can't have this book, or they can't watch this show. You know, it's like saying Pikachu is evil. Pikachu's an evil communist to them. Or they are communists. Pikachu's an evil Democrat to them. So they burn it. They burn the idea of these things. And whilst these things are aflame, they're not really on fire, but they're like scary. You can't go near them because you will be burnt. That's how they teach the children. So they grow up thinking these things are bad, and if you touch them, you will be burnt. So they've converted those good things, our stores, into a flaming pile of agony and misery that should not be touched. Third is to burn the baggage trains. What does that mean with social justice? What's a baggage train? A baggage train is a big train full of all your possessions, so that when you arrive at the place you're going to arrive at, you can start taking all your stuff back and resetting up your home. The position of strength for you is your home. If your home isn't strong, you are not strong. And that's what burning the baggage train does. It means people's homes are now completely dishevelled and disorganised, and they don't represent them anymore. And they have to live there, and that affects how their mind works, how they feel every day. Their morale is going to be affected. So that's what they've been doing. They're burning our baggage trains in this country by taking these things away from us so that we can't have them in our homes anymore. For instance, when the World Cup's on, I'm not allowed to put an England flag out. Like little simple things like that. Imagine that in England, when England are facing another country in a social war of football, that's what a football match is. It's a game war, if you like. All the other countries are allowed to put their flags out, and indeed that's what we see. When we face France, we see French flags. When we face Germany, we see German flags. When we face Egypt, we see Egyptian flags. But our own flag, the English flag, we're not allowed to use it. We're not allowed to see it because it's in the baggage train and it should be burnt, and therefore we can't use it. Again, it's been converted into misery and pain and bad. And we're supposed to feel guilty about having them. No, it's our country's national emblem. There's nothing bad about a flag, apart from a flag that says on it fuck you, or, you know, some horrible flag. And that's not what we are. England is not a horrible country. We don't go around like fascists trying to force people into our way of life through hook, crook and violence and manipulation like these guys are doing. Fourth is to burn the arsenals and magazines. Well, that one's just obvious, isn't it? Free speech is the arsenal of the Democrat. Our words and our thoughts, you know, our freedom to declare that we don't like a certain politic because it's bad, and then break down using logic and facts why it is bad and why it's bad for you and why you should never accept this stuff. That they take away from us, and they have taken that away from us. Like you can see with Lawrence Fox. They're trying to make out that he is a racist, a sexist and a homophobe, because he simply said he doesn't want his children seeing drag queens when they should be learning English and maths in a school. He doesn't want his children to be left alone in a library with drag queens reading books about chopping off penises of little boys before they're even, you know, before they finish school and college. So that's how they burn the arsenals and magazines of the Democrat of this country. They reduce our ability to speak freely, whether it be in real life or online, by reporting our comments as spam and porn when they're clearly not, by trying to censor our videos like the Met Police did to me when I named them. They tried to copyright claim my video based on just the title, and they tried to claim the entire thing and pull it down so you couldn't watch it. By the way, it's up and loads of people have seen it. It's one of the most popular videos that I've made. And then on to the fifth one, hurl dropping fire at the enemy. What do you think that means? That is a terror campaign where they hurl dropping fire in the form of fake news or panic news, you know, terrifying fake news, to make you run around and panic and do things you wouldn't normally do in this state of panic and fear. That's why they've got David Cameron back in the government. As soon as he was in there, everyone's like, oh shit, what's going on? You know, why is he back? And it reminded us of the 2016 Brexit election, which, by the way, we won. Even though none of the politicians had the balls to actually enact the will of the people and put our mandate that we gave them into law, into practice. That is the hurling fire they're dropping on us. And you can see it all over the internet, certainly on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, these kind of places. And they do it because it destroys our morale and our organisation. It makes us weak. And while we're running away, they will attack the back. That's how they intend to win the war. That's how the Chinese win wars, with the Communist Party in command of them. They attack the back because you're not going to be able to shoot back while you're running that way in fear and you've dropped your weapon on the floor to run away. That's what it means to hurl dropping fire on the enemy, and we are their enemy. Let's make no mistake about that. The hurling fire that they're dropping on us is the fake news, the fake bullshit coming out of the politicians' mouth, like David Cameron, and all the other rubbish like they do it in America. Apparently they were going to reintroduce puma and cougars into towns for the sake of natural regeneration. Now, they're never actually going to do that. Nobody wants to live in a town which is filled with cougars or pumas. And the reason is because cougars and pumas like to eat people, and they're like hugely powerful and fast creatures. There's no way a human being on their own, unarmed, can take on a cougar or a puma, even a young one. You just get eaten. So that's what they're doing there. 2. In order to carry out attack, we must have means available. The material for raising fire should always be kept in readiness. What is the material needed for raising fire in a social justice sense? Fake accounts is that material. We must always have fake accounts available, and that's how they work. My page is a perfect example of that. Every single video I do that's really popular, I look at the like count, like that Donut Patrol, the police corruption video that I did, one of my other popular videos. It's got like 150, 160 likes on there or something like that. But as soon as these commies got wind of how popular it was, the dislikes started to rack up. Now, I can tell you there's nothing in that video to dislike, no matter who you are, unless you hate this country, unless you want to see the police fail, unless you want to see criminal gangs run the streets of London. They're the only people that will be disliking that video. But sure enough, within a few hours of me noticing 1 dislike, 2 dislike, 3 dislike, there's fucking loads. There's almost as many dislikes as there are likes from real people on that, and that is what they're talking about here. The material for raising fire should be kept in readiness, and that means let's use the fake accounts that we've got stored away. So if you look at the date of an account and it's from 2016 or beyond, there's a large percentage chance, if that person has got no videos and no community posts, or a very small amount of them that are old, that is the fire in readiness coming for us to make us panic, to raise their morale and to drop our morale, and to cause us to flee so they can attack the back where we're not going to be able to counter them. 3. There is a proper season for making attacks with fire and special days for starting a conflagration. Conflagration is when fire gets pushed along by wind and it spreads naturally. So you created 1 unit of fire and the wind pushes it into 2 and then into 4 and then into 8. That's conflagration. So what does proper season mean in relation to attacking with social fire for the social justice? It means the days of celebration. For instance, Christmas is coming up. Christmas is like the age-old traditional time where we are all peaceful and we don't do anything aggressive to our neighbours or our enemies. We are kind and loving and forgiving and tolerant. And we have Christmas cheer. That's what we want to do. Sit with our families, drink a couple of bottles of wine, eat some turkey, open a bunch of presents. That's what we do on Christmas. But may I remind you, Israel recently got attacked on the 7th of November. Now, they don't have Christmas over there because obviously Jews have something else. They were celebrating one of their special seasons and they were all looking the other way. All the soldiers had gone home to their families and that's why Hamas attacked them on the 7th of November. They waited for that perfect day and that was the proper season for making attacks with fire for Hamas, which they did successfully. Obviously, they're paying for it now because they're going to be completely wiped out with absolutely no mercy. So, I mean, it's got so bad over there. Even I'm starting to think, wow, Israel, just back off a little bit. Like, stop just being so successful in your counterattack. But nonetheless, they asked for it because they attacked. Like, if someone attacks me on Christmas, if someone shot at me on Christmas, you can bet your bottom dollar if I have the chance, I'm going to crush them. Absolutely crush them like a beetle, like a cockroach. Because they have not only attacked me and threatened my life, they've offended my spirit of goodwill during the season of cheer, Christmas. So that's what it means, the proper season for making attacks with fire. It's Christmas, it's birthdays, it's special events in the calendar that are linked to our culture. So that's what we can expect. 4. The proper season is when the weather is very dry, i.e. in a social sentence when nobody is there to pour the water on the fire to make it go away. Like I said, Christmas, when all the moderation staff at YouTube are at their lowest and everyone's gone home, the police have gone home, the fire service have gone home, that's when we can expect attack. And sure enough, I heard rumours, even though BBC have been too lazy or useless or traitorous, whatever their fucking excuse is, to tell us, MI6 have warned the army to expect a terrorist, an extremist Muslim terrorist attack over the Christmas period, which is the next 6 weeks. The proper season is when the weather is very dry. The special days are those where the moon is in the constellation of the sieve, the wall, or the wing. Now, that takes a little bit more explanation because it's based in the symbology of Chinese culture. But the sieve, what does a sieve do? A sieve separates the wheat from the chaff. So during Christmas, the only people who are committed to defence of this country, really committed, only those soldiers and police and fire service members are going to be there. So we've sieved out the rest and we've marginalised everyone else and we've got a minimal supply of really committed fire service, police officers and military army soldiers. In attacking with fire, one should be prepared to meet the 5 possible developments. Fire breaks out inside the enemy's camp. Respond at once with an attack from without. So they're waiting for us to catch fire so they can attack more and they can get those committed soldiers, police and fire service and they can fuck them over because they are the last cohorts. They're the last hope for us. Everyone else has gone home and they didn't want to be there in the first place, so they're going to do it that way. If there is an outbreak of fire but the enemy's soldiers remain quiet, bide your time and do not attack. So if we don't panic and we don't show them our back, they're not interested. They don't want to fucking fight this side of us. It's like that cowardly asshole next door to me who backstabbed me in the street, tried to drag me down and beat me up from behind before I had a chance to reply. But as soon as I was back on my feet with my fist up, he looked fucking terrified. And guess what? He ran away, even though he had his dog with him. And by the way, while he was running away, he shouted, "Don't attack me!" and tried to gaslight me with his own little fire, his own little prepped war of fire. But it didn't work because I didn't turn my back on him once again. Once I was on my feet, I was too strong for him, and that's what this is saying. This whole book is cowardly tactics that it demand that you attack the back of people. There's so much effort gone to in this book by Sun Tzu, who is clearly a brilliant war tactician, But he's gone to so much effort to say, do not ever attack the face of your enemy. You only attack the back. And you only attack them during the right season, when they have no defences, when they're looking the other way, when they're demoralised and they're relaxing and they're going to be surprised. Otherwise you lose. They know that. I'll carry on. When the force of the flames has reached its height, follow it with an attack if that is practical. If not, just sit tight. See where this is going? When the fire has built up to a huge catastrophic fire and everybody is surrounding it, pouring water on it, and they're all facing the fire. You see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to paint the picture of you facing the fire with the social media. You're looking at your screen and your back is to what's happening in the politics. That is when they will attack you. But even then, if there's too many of you, they need to outnumber you 10 to 1. If you're not outnumbered 10 to 1 by all these fake accounts, and they don't have the politicians on side, and they haven't waylaid the army so they can't attack, and they don't have their allies all lined up in a row, slathering at the mouth, waiting for you to turn your back, like I said, then they cannot attack. Not that they won't, not that they don't want to, they cannot. Right? If it is possible to make an assault with fire from without, do not wait for it to break out within, but deliver your attack at the favourable moment. That's interesting, isn't it? If it's possible to make an attack from without and bomb, that's what they're talking about here. The attack from without is dropping fire on someone with a plane or sending a missile or a bomb. If you can do it and it's a favourable moment, you should. That's what this says. So it doesn't matter if you're not in the same location. If those bombs and those dropping firelets are not going to hurt you and your troops, fucking fire away. That's what they're saying, but they can't at the moment. We still have a democracy here. We still have power in the people, in you and I. We are the last defence of this country, not the politicians, not the army. Us. That's what this is talking about. Delivering your attack at a favourable moment. The favourable moment is when we are convinced that they will win, and we just put down our guns and our keyboards and we just give up and we look away. So we cannot let that happen. 10. When you start a fire, be downwind of it. Do not attack from the leeward. Think about that in terms of, that's fucking brilliant. I'm so impressed by this guy, even though I fucking hate him, and he's a communist spy scumbag who's been nothing but trouble for our culture in this country. Think how clever that is. When you're starting fires, make sure as it's travelling along the path of the wind, which you were waiting for so that you could make your attack more prominent, be on the other side of it so it doesn't come back for you. And what that means is people like Crystal Beth, the drag queen, she's calling him homophobic, sexist and racist. So she now can't do anything homophobic, anything sexist or anything racist at all. She won't. Because if she does, it cancels the power of her attack. You see how that works? So her attack would have no power unless she had made those accusations based on the fucking 3 tweets, which, as we've already shown, aren't homophobic, sexist or racist. A wind that rises in the daytime lasts long, but a night breeze soon falls. And that, dear ladies and gents, is where I'm going to put most of my effort into this video, right? Think about that. A wind that rises in the daytime lasts long. And what that means is start now, early, before everyone's woken up, i.e. what the Chinese Communist Party have been doing while pretending to befriend us with politics. They've been storing up their money while pretending to be poor. They've been building weapons while pretending they don't have any. They've been sending their spies into our country to convert us, like they did try with me. They convert us into spies for their cause. And that's the long day. And when the night breeze falls, that's when they will attack. So we're near that. We're at the dusk now. We're literally nearing the darkness when they're gonna fucking attack us. So we need to be ready. And we need to destroy the conditions to make them not attack. That's the conclusion of this video, ladies and gents. I'm not just ranting a load of political and cultural fluff into your ears for no reason. We are the ones who created the conditions for attack, whether we like that or not, whether we meant to or not. Us, civilians, we created the conditions because our politicians, the corrupt ones anyway, led us there. But we didn't need to follow them, and we don't need to follow them now. We can back off and we can reset the conditions of this country back to a friendly, favourable environment and an atmosphere where us democracy people can proliferate, and then the spies, even the converted ones, will be fucking powerless, and the end result is they will not attack us. They'll be too afraid and they'll fuck off back to their own country or their own wherever it was they came from, because they don't have any interest in it. They have no interest in our country apart from to grow food and send back to China, because they can't grow food. They've destroyed their whole country. They've destroyed the water table. They've destroyed the skies. They've destroyed everything. It's a complete fucking wreck over there. So they thought they can come here to our nice green country, God's green country, and try and take it over without destroying it, because if they destroy it, it'll be just the same as theirs. So that's why they've done this, the art of war, submission. 12. In every army, the 5 developments connected with fire must be known, the movements of the stars calculated, and a watch kept for the proper days. Like I said before, they've been at this for years. They've done the calculation, they've done the watching, they've got all their spies in the correct position, they're just waiting for us to creep out of our position and show them our back and panic so they can fucking stick the knife in it. And we have to make sure that doesn't happen. And the way we're going to make that happen, ladies, gents and Pikachus, is by voting reform or reclaim at the next election and keeping those Tory and Labourite traitors, those fucking scumbags, out of our government for good, and reinstalling the moral, good, normal people and the normies against woke campaign instead of this stupid communism that's wrecking everything. So I think I've made my point now, and this video's got long enough, so I'll let you go and bid you a good evening. But I hope you enjoyed this. It really made you think. And it really put a fire in your belly to act. Act now. Do what you need to do. Get your house in order. Purify your own behaviour. And start thinking, how can you defend from the hurling fire of the social justice warriors and the woke communists? Because they're in my comments every day. They're always on my page. They attack every single video. I have to spend hours and hours and hours trawling through policy and through bad comments, and I've been limited. I got limited for 8 hours last night while they investigated my comments, which were like, thanks bro, appreciate the comment bro. That is them hurling the fire. So what did I do? When that little warning popped up that said, you may have said something naughty, Mr. Daly, I didn't lose my temper. I didn't lose my will. I didn't turn around and start running away in panic or fear or anger. No. I stilled my mind and I thought, I will fight this, but I'll do it correctly. And that's what I did. And then sure enough, 8 hours later, my comments all returned, every single one of them. And that's what we must do. Don't get angry. Get even. All right? And do it in the right way. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Isn't it so ironic how all this attack by fire stuff is the opposite of Christianity, which is to drop water on things and calm things down with tolerance, justice and morality. So let's look forward to a future of that, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.